Welcome to the end of year Pedal Dive podcast show. I'm Hello Sailor Joe, and today I'm on with
Space Wolf John Mulholland,
Simon from JSFX,
Alex from Memory Lane Electronics.
And we've got to say that we've got Justin Drawbridge from Drawbridge Audio joining, and also hopefully our buddy Anjay from way back when is coming on. It's just another guitar channel. Is his channel? I always messed that up.
another guitar channel.
Guitar channel.
Just another, awesome reviewer. Probably did the first review of any of my pedals, or maybe the second ever. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Funnily enough, I don't want to blow your trumpet, Simon, but every episode that we've had you on, the views and the watch time seem to have exploded, on both times. I don't know what's going on there. I think it's because you make me and John look simple.
I thought it was my handsome face, to be honest, but
I thought it was the left hemisphere, right hemisphere connection.
or just an English accent that isn't Scouse.
Just the hippocampus.
I thought I'd lost my accent.
You have not. No.
Yeah, all my family think I'm posh when I go back home.
All my family think I'm northern.
It's not like Sound Lad Liverpool. He's got like a full-on Scouse accent. So this episode, there's no real agenda. We're just going to look at our previous year and then next year, and also we've got a pedal giveaway, which is this. I built it from a credit card, business card from Demedash pedals. Steve sent me over, and I felt really bad selling it because he sent me it to build. So I figured, why not give it away? We'll cover the rules on that one because I'm going to remove myself from the decision. Otherwise, I'll just pick the person who got the most views. So it seems reasonable that I'm not involved on that one. Yeah. So how's everyone been?
Miscreants.
Yeah, exactly. I finally got my pedal from Alex. Get in.
Hey.
What a pedal! I'm going to be using it.
From me to you.
Did you check the inside of the other?
Yeah,
okay.
Mate,
I put some transistors and stuff like inside.
Thank you so much, mate. The caps are amazing as well.
Yeah, they are the. Are you talking about the red ones? The maroon ones? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they are like a Panasonic. No, sorry, Matsushita, I believe.
Matsushita,
yeah.
But
they really sound different.
They're nice. Like I've got to say that the packaging. If I'm sending people parts, I just shove it in a little baggie or whatever you call it, like I'm sending drugs over, and then that's it. But these come in like a metal tin. It's so cool.
And the metal thing was the enclosure that I talked to you about the FAL turbo booster. Do you remember that one? Yeah. So basically, it's a similar kind of enclosure. I have something.
So good, mate. It's literally over there. I can almost see it, but that's the one.
That's really cool.
Man,
this one
I think
a little
2025 is going to be the year of some really cool enclosures because I've found some stuff like that too. Like going through that pile of stuff that was in my shop, the things that I've been uncovering. I mean, dude, it's just like, okay, so this. See this. So.
Sounds like you're making a Miko pedal, mate.
Yeah. I mean,
that is
stuff like that I've been uncovering. Like, I'm like, how can I make that trigger?
I have a Miko pedal. I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got some of our regular faces.
Hey, Dave.
Hubcap John.
Good evening.
Hello.
I've got a cool project or a cool video coming out of one of his fuzz pedals soon. When I pull my finger out and actually get the parts together.
Is that the tin ones? The tobacco tin ones?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's done unsurprisingly, he's done like a build guide that's better than anything you've seen. Of course he has. Yeah, it's fantastic, mate. Yeah.
I waited too long because I had to actually go and grab it, but this is on Simon's build for after Christmas.
Oh, sweet.
What?
It's an old transformer box for what's the word? Words are hard. Railway model railways. There we go.
We need the words is hard.
But yeah, it's the old transformer box for a model railway. This one is going to be a fuzz pedal, and then I've got another one which is a different box that weighs 3 kilograms at the moment. It won't once I take the transformer out, it won't. But that's going to be a harmonic tremolo.
That looks a lot like the old love pedal, love tone.
Yeah. It's that kind of it's that kind of like sloped enclosures.
Yeah, and it's massive.
They always have it's funny because the majority of the train stuff we see, the old stuff is always a cool. It has always a cool slope in it.
Yeah.
Like from I've got a shelf.
Desk standpoint.
It's the ergonomics.
I've got a shelf there with it full of old railway transformers. I tell you what, though, it's scary that they used to plug them into the wall. I wouldn't plug any of them in now. I'm looking inside and like, holy shit. I used to unwind the transformers and take the copper and use that as like solid core.
I think going to sell it for scrap.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not that skint. Although this workshop has killed me, I gotta say.
Oh, yeah. In my day of working and remodeling houses, I've worked on some houses that were wired in the 20s and 30s, and the stuff that they put in houses, it's like a miracle that was still standing and hadn't burned to the ground. I mean, oh my gosh. I found rodents that were petrified. I found petrified rodents that had bitten into the wire and electrocuted themselves and then mummified in the walls.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Wade's in. I was wondering when he was going to come in with us on his drive home.
Oh, yes, his evening drive.
Oh, I love it.
Hey, mate, you're moving up in the world. Like, I'm running the stream on my PC, just watching, and so many ads are popping up. Monetization.
I know what's going on with them.
Sorry for you guys that don't have a subscription, but you're going to be getting ads during our live streams now. So.
Well, they should only get ads right in the middle. Because I've turned it to its lowest setting.
Well,
maybe I haven't done it properly.
I guess they love you, mate.
Yeah. They started putting ads on my stuff before it was monetized.
I just saw Ryan Reynolds trying to sell me Mint Mobile. So Deadpool, right?
Living a dream, mate. I tell you what, I'm amazed. My first payment from YouTube should be coming in soon. You'll never guess how much they're paying me.
£3.
Yes. £94.
Wow.
I was going to
say
that's all right.
Yeah, that's like 6 weeks. I mean, I'm not going to retire on it. 6 weeks, £94. Probably make more than that selling a Tube Screamer, but there you go. Yeah, I don't know. I'm made up, mate. I can't believe that.
That's good, man.
People even watch them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than Spotify rates, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were putting the rates up on Spotify, or
but
they were trying to.
They're trying. It won't make any difference.
Pennies off the fraction.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a weird. I was at university when all that was kicking off. I was studying popular music at university when all this was kicking off.
Oh wow!
And our lecturer, or one of our lecturers, was really grumpy about it because from what he knew, when Apple did the iPod and iTunes and stuff, Apple went to every major label going and said, "Look, this is the platform we're going to make. This is what we want to do. Can we license your music, or do you want to be involved?" And every big record label said no because they didn't think the technology would take off. And so when it did take off, suddenly all these major labels going, "Well, you're only paying us 10 cents a song," and it's like, "Well, we gave you the opportunity." I think the original offer was 50 cents, literally 50 cents on the dollar for the song. But then once Apple started making the rules, it's their market; they can do what they want. And I think Apple did compromise a bit more, but by that point, Spotify were just like, "Fuck it, anyone can do what you want. Just take as much or little money as you want."
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out real quick to Eddie Rifkin in the chat and Hobo Roadie. He just joined in too. Hi guys.
Eddie makes some class pedals.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just lurking while working. He also makes some incredible art. If you haven't seen his visual art, man.
Yeah. Oh mate. I always laugh at the Karen or the Claren, the Clon.
Yeah, well, that's two.
Me up, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, in fact, I was looking at Anjay playing one today. I don't know if he posted a new video or
yeah, he did.
My stream.
Yeah, it's because they're trying to sort out. Actually, I don't know if it is a secret. Or no, I'll wait till Anjay if Anjay comes on. But they're working on something.
Now, mate.
Well, no, they're working on something, so we'll see what happens with that.
A tease.
Oh, cool.
A tease.
Yeah,
a tease.
Yeah,
yes,
I'm happy with that,
yes, just a tease.
Pedal edging.
Class. Oh well, I suppose we better. We better look back at last year. So I've got a little. This is amazing. This is my episode plan along with competition. How professional is that? So here, just looking at like going through our best highlights or one of our highlights from last year, 2024, and I think if we start off with Simon, because I'm most interested in your pedal builds after that tube scream you sent me. I need to.
Yeah, it's weird. So I kind of in my head when we kind of we're talking about doing something like this, my brain went my favorite pedals that I've built this year, and then favorite pedals that I've bought this year. The buying of the pedals is that's the fun bit, and there's been some amazing pedals that have come out this year. But the building one's hard because I have no sense of time, so I can't tell you what I built this year or what I built last year or the year before. It all kind of bleeds into one. So I went for so that tube scream that I built for Joe, I built one for myself, which is this. Thanks. I can't figure out if I do. I don't hate it, but I also really like just gunmetal, so I'm never the person to judge with aesthetics. But again, inside, I don't know how well that comes across on my shonky camera, but
big caps, mate, big caps. Sounds good.
Big caps. The Variboard is painted in the blacker than black paint, which is amazing. I wish I could do more stuff with it, but I'm shit with proper paint. But yeah, it's all Soviet paper and oil caps, and then vintage ceramic and some nonsense. But yeah, I love it. I then built one where I added the Timmy bass control, and I was going to jokingly say my patented VCS control, but that's a lie. But the VCS control that I started doing, I'm going to move that, which was like the decompressed control from the Nordlander ODR-C thing, like because he's the original designer of all the Nobles pedals.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I know the one you're talking about now.
Yeah, once he left Nobles, he was then like, well, these are my pedals, I'm going to make them better. Which has been a lesson I've learned a lot over the last few years, is that if you buy a pedal from the person that created it, they tend to be way better than whatever the companies are pushing out.
It's like the Roger Mayer fuzzes that he built after, the Axis fuzz and stuff like that. Like, he's still developing circuits, isn't he? Isn't Mayer still active?
I think so.
I believe so.
I thought he was. Yeah.
So, funny story. My fuzz pedal was originally called the Wing Cries Mayer because I love Roger Mayer. Used to be in the Royal Navy. Why? How can I not love him? Well, people kept messaging me saying, "Oh, that's predictable. A John Mayer fan." It's like I am a John Mayer fan, but that's not who I'm talking about. I got rid of it. I was like, I can't be bothered answering that anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that he'd sold his company on, or is he still building under the same name?
I thought so, because I feel like it's still, when you buy stuff, it's from him directly, like Pete Cornish as well, where they're still, although Pete Cornish now charges what used Pete Cornish pedals go for, so, which I get is fair. I mean,
of course. Well, how much would Alexander Dumble be charging now, or should he be charging now?
Well, he did. There was a big thing, wasn't there, where he got to a point where he was charging like $100,000 plus for amps because that was the used market.
Well, I mean, think about it. What's going to happen is what happened to my friend James Condino. He was building instruments for people, and his instruments were selling for like $4,000 or $5,000, and they were turning around and selling them for $8,000 to $12,000. And he's not getting anything from that. So he's like, if you're selling it for that much, then that's what it is. That's the price. So, and you have to do that. Otherwise, you're going to just work yourself to the bone, and other people are going to get rich off your back.
Yeah.
It's just that's a poor business model. If you do,
I always wondered that about Analog Man, because he's got like a 6-year wait list now. 6 years, and he hasn't put his prices up or anything. And on the used market, they're ridiculous, and you can never tell if it's someone cloning it or, I always worry that you buy it and it's not one of his.
Well, it's the same with the KTR as well. But I think the point with, especially Bill Finnegan's talked about this, that he charges what he feels is right for the pedal, and the used market price is purely because of delay, isn't it? It's availability. If Bill Finnegan could build KTRs quickly enough, in the same way that if Analog Man could build King of Tones quickly enough, that price wouldn't jump. It would just be a fixed price.
Hello, mate. Hope you're well. Yeah, have we got you?
Well, I mean, that's an interesting point, though, because you also, in the stuff that we're doing, you have to take into account that we have, just a limited availability now of some of these parts, and we're getting to the end. And I think people are starting to be like, well, how many more of these can I build? And then after that, what am I going to do?
Yeah,
so,
I think that's why
they're on a certain kind of sound or a certain kind of like thing. And
I'm thinking the Timmy. I think that's why they sold the rights to MXR to build the minis.
I don't, because there's nothing in the Timmy that's hard to get. It's all pretty standard.
Well, you say that, but Analog Man actually found a batch of fake Nichicon capacitors. And he was like, I don't think I can build them anymore because I'm getting many fakes and not many.
And it's been going on for years now, apparently. Like a lot of things that people thought they were buying, like people are pulling stuff out of their parts bins that they bought a few years back, and it's turning out to be fake.
Okay.
Like it doesn't,
No, I know there's lots of fake stuff out there, but Wimmer capacitors, a lot of like weird op amps. The 2N5088 transistors, obviously, there's a lot of fakes of those, and the LM308 and things.
Yeah. Well, you can see them on eBay. You can spot the fakes. If the price is too good to be true, it is.
What fueled a lot of the fakes for capacitors, in my opinion, was the vintage guitar market. Vintage guitar caps. I mean,
Jesus.
You had fake bumblebees, fake black beauties, fake paper and oil caps, fake, any number of things coming out, because that was a make or break for some of these guys spending like $500,000 on, flame top Les Paul or something. If it didn't have the right caps, the right pots, suddenly it wasn't worth that much money.
But equally though, I'm glad that it did explode, because I feel like it's brought so many other builders to the scene now, rather than it just being Boss or Electro Harmonics,
or Behringer,
which are actually, to be fair, I got a buddy who's been sending me videos of his 2 new Behringer pedals, and they sound bloody good.
Honestly, so
they do. I mean,
I know it's jumping ahead. I've been talking about this loads, but the Behringer, their Centaur, fucking out. It's amazing. Like, it's the best clone I've tried. Like, I prefer it to the KTR, and I never thought I'd really say that with a pedal.
Holy shit!
I prefer it to the KTR. I like it about the same as the Cinvatec thing. I never remember what they actually call it. But honestly, it's astounding, and it's built well. I think the fact they've had not just the R&D, but the fact they can build every single part of it themselves. They're not having to mess around with tolerances, whatever. It's just, it's magic, honestly. It's phenomenal.
Hello, Justin. Good to have you here, mate. How's it going?
Hello. I couldn't hear anything the first time, so just
that's all right.
Step out and come back in again.
So basically, you've caught us just where we're going round, and each of us are going to give our favourite moment or favourite thing of 2024.
Okay.
I think we kind of went off on a tangent with Simon, and I knew we would.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, well, I'll finish it with this then. So, as I've been saying, I said last time, and I keep talking about it, the weird Lostic Denny prototype fuzz thing, which I'm still trying to find like a fixed colorway and stuff, but I'm now super happy with the sound. For those that have missed the story, somebody sent me an old color sound bass fuzz to give some TLC to. Opened it up expecting to see the big muff, like big board.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't. Yeah. opened it and it was weird. It was like a weird proto board and then like loads of hacked wiring. It was a mess. And I asked the guy, you know, have you modified this or did you buy it modified? He went, no, I bought it off someone who had it originally. So yeah, traced it, and he finally got in contact with, is it Maracas? I can never know I don't know what their names are. Solar Sound, those people. And they're like, oh yeah, it was a Dick Denny prototype that he'd built for the bass fuzz. But obviously he'd build prototypes, put them in the real enclosures, and if he didn't like them, he'd literally put them in a cardboard box in his room. And every now and then people would see them, think, oh, they're new stock. I don't know why they're in here, and then just sell them on by mistake. So
there we go, Hobo Roadie McCarty's. That's the
thank you.
The name of the
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. I always think Macarena, and no, it's not that.
Hey.
Yeah, but traced it, built it, and then the guy, I'd fixed the pedal, sent it back to him, and he sold it to DAM, which is fair because they own all the rights to those circuits. I'm guessing to them, they're picking up a lost prototype, and it was cool, but I understand it on bass. It worked better because it was essentially like a transistor boost stage smashing the hell out of an IC tone bender. So you get so much clean bleed through that on bass it works really well. You get a lot of kind of full low end, but then like way too much distortion behind it. And I got some PCBs built again, mostly to try and stay ahead of DAM, who I knew were going to do something with it. But it's not that I hated it. I struggled with it, and it wasn't until one night where late night Simon was like, you know, you can fix this if you do this. And I was like, oh, you're probably right. So I did. And it's made a huge difference. And it sounds like a tone bender. It kind of works how a tone bender should. But it's a new design. And it's, I'm stoked about it. That's kind of my 2025 is to really push that, do stuff with that, and be excited about things again rather than dead inside.
I can't decide who my favorite builder is, Simon from JSA or Late Night Simon.
I think Late Night Simon is up there in contention, man. I tell you,
Late Night Simon's he's a hero. He just buys random shit, and then daytime Simon has to figure out what. Like, where are they? I found these earlier on whilst tidying up. These are some PMP ME 4002s. I have no idea what they are. I've never seen these before in my life, but they just was somewhere on my side. So Late Night Simon's clearly bought those for a project that he's got in mind, but hasn't told me about it yet. Which, like, I had some 2K pots arrive years ago, and I was like, I have no recollection. I have no need for 2K pots, but I now have a bundle of them.
I'm building something that needs a 2K pot, and I was like, I think it might be a Roger Mayer. Is it the Roger Mayer, one of his fuzzers? It's like got a PMP and an MPN transistor, 3904 and 3906. And,
yeah, probably.
And I was looking at it like, what the hell, 2K pot? Anyway, so we're going to move on. Just the best part of 2024. It can be something that you built or just like something that you think is the best. And we'll go along right to left now. So we'll move on to Mr. Space Wolf.
Ooh, okay. For 2024, I think the thing I got the most excited about that I built was wow, that's pretty hard.
It doesn't just have to be something you've built, by the way. It could be just the best thing about 2024, something, because for me, obviously, I'd probably say the workshop, but I'm not going to say that. But
yeah, it'd probably be like getting all of the things that I built like working and having like so many things to choose from to move forward with, and then still having like the next thing that I'm about to start that I haven't finished yet. So I guess that's it, like getting back into it and really diving back into this on a more full-time basis. That was the best thing for me, for sure. Cool. Yeah.
Okay. Then
what I'm looking for in 2025.
Well, wait there. We'll get onto that, mate. Let's one at a time.
I'm not going to follow Simon's example then.
Don't, yeah, I know. He went prematurely.
I can't help it. It's who I am.
Hey, I mean, how can I follow that, right?
He's contending with Late Night Simon while he's trying to do it. Let's face it.
Well, actually, we had to get two takes. So we had Late Night Simon and Simon from JSA Effects. So,
we're not far off Late Night. You've got about an hour before Late Night Simon kicks in. I take my drugs. Right. I take my next lot of meds in 10 minutes, and then it gets weird. Sounds like I'm not joking. They're in front of me. Yeah, 9:30.
Not you taking meds class. I just think
both. They're both class.
Okay, then. So we'll move over to Alex then.
Well, probably the thing that I built that it's hard to say because it's hard for me to let some pedals go and sell them. I have that disease, and it's hard, man. It's hard. Probably this one. It's it's our house enclosure, so it's kind of inspired probably on the FC1 and some pedal that my grandmother had from a machine or something like that, and I took the two ideas to our metal guy. and the guy started working on some prototypes, and we launched this type of enclosure. So it's not super fancy, but it's probably.
Is it folded? Is it folded metal or is it cast?
It's similar to the.
It's a mix. It's folded. No, okay. So it's folded, literally just folded, but they are super rugged in some parts. That the guy solders. Heavy solder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, you can check the inside and probably probably won't be able to see it afterwards.
Well,
it looks spacious from the outside.
After the point.
Hey, Joe, if you put him,
sorry,
if Joe puts you full screen, then we'll all be able to see it better.
Oh, that's a hell of an idea.
Okay.
That.
Yes.
That's what you pay me the big bucks for, mate.
Look at that, and I knew how to do it.
Wow.
How's that?
Nice.
Hey, I'm getting good at this, aren't I?
Just trying to get the back plate off.
No pressure, mate. You're fully on full screen on your own now.
That's That's what I was going to say. Is it folded with like a screw back plate or like folded and fold on?
Yeah. So basically, it's
cool.
folded. And the guys after it's folded, they support the inside.
Yeah,
all the corners.
As a side note, look at that fucking board. How class is that?
Awesome,
that is,
come on,
man. That's a work of art.
No, it's this one is a Mark 1. It's a system tuned more or less.
Oh, come on.
And yeah,
that's a
this
beauty,
one.
that, mate.
Well, and two,
thank you.
That's like welded or brazed. That's not solder. That's really
Yeah,
heavy duty.
yeah.
That's first class metalwork, man.
It looks like gas welding.
Yeah, big.
Well, to be fair, the prototype was the best one. The other ones were like all crooked and all that kind of stuff. So we are moving to another supplier to see if the guys can make it.
Okay.
And yeah. But
That's
probably at the beginning of the 25, we'll have some more.
Oh, cool.
Is it aluminium or is it like a heavier metal?
This one is metal. The other one that I can't remember because they are like I live in Coimbra, which is a city in Portugal, but they are probably they work on the city center, so they have a lot of scraps from all the constructions around the city, so they probably used some random metal that
I
they
bet
had.
it's steel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you stick a magnet to it?
That's a good show.
Yeah.
I feel like it's probably not a great idea. I feel like magnets and transistors aren't great friends.
Well,
No.
I'm saying, no. Can you stick a magnet to it? Because it'd be
I will use the back plate. So
Okay, yeah. No, that's smart.
There you go. It's steel.
Cool. Yeah, that's nice.
Nice.
And then on to Justin. What's your favorite thing from this year?
Pedal, probably the Zonk 2. I've taken it because I know it was quite unpopular when it came out. So I took it Germanium version and pretty much tweaked everything in it, kind of thing. So it's not my own little pedal, but it's a really nice new version of it, kind of thing. So that was probably one. This will be one. It's quite similar to your case, but it's empty.
Oh, yeah.
I've got nothing to show you, so it's empty. But yeah, that's probably pedal wise.
Is that going to be a zonk? Sorry, is that green one going to be a zonk, or is it going to be like a maestro?
Yeah, the purists won't like it very much, but it will be a zonk. Yeah, a zonk too. Anyway, yeah.
I like it.
But otherwise, I got to meet Paul's Effects as well. That was quite cool. He came down from Hungary just for the big Liverpool show. So that was quite
cool. I missed that show. I just couldn't get there.
Same. I didn't get to it in the end either.
No. Bad times. Oh, cool.
But no, he was really cool.
Well, for me, I'm not going with a pedal at all, because sat in front of me is a 1965, although the Transformers say 64, blonde Showman, and I'm in love with this. I can't believe I've basically been given it. I mean, it's insane. So it's not all original. All the caps have been changed for orange drop, but I've got blue molded caps. I'm going to change them all back, and it actually come from. This is where I get really excited. It come from Alan Rogan, who is the Who's tech. So it was Pete Townsend's tech. Brought it back from the US with him. He died just during COVID. It's like a big thing, and he sold off lots of his gear. The guy who I got it from actually bought it from Alan Rogan. So there's some history behind this one. And I sometimes I just come out to the workshop and look at it for 10 minutes. Like, I can't believe I own it.
Have a little smell of it, stroke it lovingly.
Yeah. Well, my wife's like, what have you been doing? You only went to get a screwdriver. Like, smelling my amplifier? I don't know.
So we had a question in the chat for all of us. Paul Kerr, he said, well, we're all here. If I was to build my first pedal board, what would you guys put together for me? Only picking one each.
Cool.
So who wants to go first? Who wants to be?
Oh, wait there. We need to define something here, Paul. Are we going any budget or are we going reasonable budget? Because my first pedal, I'm still picking a Kingsley.
Yeah, I mean, is
and
this
it costs like 500 quid.
Are we playing fantasy football, or is this something you're actually going to use and going to be able to afford?
To be fair, reading it again, does he mean pedals you can buy off the shelf, or pedals that we'd make for his board?
Yeah.
What would you guys put together for me? That's what I think.
We need some context there, I think.
What are you playing as well?
Yeah. And start. Yeah.
So like a starter pedal board. That's what I thought he was asking.
Ah, there you go. So he's saying at a pinch.
Yeah, starter pedal board.
Oh, okay.
Okay, starter pedal board. I think it'd be fair to not nominate our own pedals, because I can't see someone who's starting a pedal board buying one of my, I don't know, Range Masters or something. It'd be quite a difficult thing to fit into.
Well, I mean, I guess if he's talking on a budget, like, is that right? Or are you?
Yeah, he said.
He's actually saying, what would you put together for me? So okay, then we'll start with Simon, because I feel like we're gonna get an overdrive.
He's gonna get a hot toddy, because everyone needs a hot toddy. It sounds like I'm exaggerating, but like everyone needs a hot toddy. Mm-hmm. There's a shop in Derby called Hippo Guitars, which are amazing. It's a couple that run it. It's awesome little shop. And I built them for their first birthday. They asked if I could build 10 hot toddies, but in their own colorway. And because the shop's Hippo Guitars, it was called the Hippopotamus, which is hard to say.
I remember that.
Yeah, but they then asked, could I just build one that they could have? They've got like a little test board where everyone comes and plays stuff. And they were like, I don't suppose you've got a spare that we could just put on there so people could play it. And I was like, yeah. And he messaged me, the guy messaged me recently, said, he goes, in my opinion, I'm probably the person that's heard this pedal through the most guitars ever, which is fair, because it's a music guitar shop. And he's like, honestly, it's hard to make it sound bad. And this all sounds like I'm bragging, and I am, because it's fucking wonderful, and everyone needs a hot toddy in their lives.
Love it.
But yeah, the hot toddies, I think, it's a great kind of pedal platform. It's a nice starter pedal. It will go well with fuzz or like a Range Master, which I assume other people are going to suggest those kind of things.
What are you all talking about?
Yeah, I feel like every face I'm looking at is
probably.
Yeah. But yeah, because again, like there's lots of players that do kind of go out big tube amps and are cool. But I feel like the majority of us nowadays are playing at home on smaller rigs that you can't get to those volumes. And so those kind of pedals where you can stick towards an end of a chain that you can have always on and use that to kind of emulate like a bigger loud amp. So like, again, if you've got a range master and you're trying to push it into like a 5-watt Marshall solid state thing, it's never going to sound good because that's not how it's meant to work. Whereas if you had a range master and then something that could emulate what it feels like having a kind of decent tube preamp and then stick a range master in front of that, then you get the feel, then you get kind of what it's supposed to do. And yeah, that's what I use the Hot Toddy for. It's what a lot of people use the Hot Toddy for. Is you kind of stick it after your fuzzes or whatever, and you slam that, and then you get the sound that you'd expect if you were using a big tube amp.
Oh, cool. And then so Mr. Wolf, John, what would you?
Well, I'm gonna have to say I would get either something that's like a big muff pie transistor circuit or the super tone bender circuit, because I know somebody else is going to suggest a 2 transistor fuzz of some sort. So I want to say have a 4 transistor fuzz like that and a 2 transistor fuzz, because I know somebody else is going to recommend it. But that's going to be like, going really well with a lot of different sounds and styles. And I think it's one of those go-to pedals on everybody's pedal board is like a big muff pie transistor type circuit, not the op amp, but the transistor.
Oh, cool.
That would be my choice.
Any preference on what big muff?
Probably the Ram's Head like circuit.
Is the G2 the Cornisher around? Is the G2 Cornisher Ram's Head clone? I've had a request to build one, and I'm just getting the stuff together. I'm looking at it like it's basically a big muff.
Is it a big muff with his buffer in front of it?
With a buffer,
yeah. I'm a big fan of the Super Tone Bender circuit, which is pretty much a big muff pie from that same era with just a slight difference or two. And I mean, I've built 2 or 3 of them, and it's like instant, doom. It's
that's
instant,
the gray one. The gray one.
The gray one.
The pedal. The Super Tone Bender is the gray one.
Oh yeah, the big. It's like a big color sound one.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome on bass too.
Yeah. That's it's one of the best bass fuzzes too, and I'm a bass player, so it does double duty for me.
Oh man. Oh cool. So then after that, Alex, what are you throwing in the mix?
Well, probably.
He's gonna say it. It's gonna. Here we go.
No, probably. Are we talking about just about fuzzes and distortions?
No,
or
just anything you could build.
Anything to put on the pedal board. We've got the Hot Toddy, and we've got the Big Muff. So what would go with those 2 next? Do you think, or what you could build? Those? What you could build with it.
Well, probably I believe everyone should have a Mark I. Probably, I don't know any. That 3 transistor fuzz. Probably the Mark I would be the more
for the cleanup.
The less. No, actually, the Mark I is known for not cleaning up. So it will start to gate a lot, and exactly.
Okay.
Well, it depends on the tuning, but it's not like crystal clear like a fuzz or something like that. So, or a Mark I, or probably this one is just the prototype. We sold the last ones today, actually. But this is our take on a sine wave tremolo.
Nice.
It's more. It's kind of a brown face. The vibrato on the brown face.
Like a bias drum.
That would be really handy for sure. Yeah, especially if you don't have it as a feature on your amp.
Yeah. And it's cool because it's has so on off switch and and another switch to toggle between two different speeds, basically.
Cool.
And well, it doesn't make the Leslie thing where it creeps up or that kind of movement when you change the speeds, but you can do a lot of cool things with it. It's a tremolo for all the families.
Yeah.
Yes. There you go.
Go on then, Justin. Up to you, mate.
I can't say fuzz because we've got enough fuzz. Maybe something like a COP 50 or something simple, but just something to.
Oh, nice.
Like when my amp blew up, my guitar, I was stuck with a little Squire practice amp, and it just doesn't make it sound. I'm not saying it makes it sound like a big valve amp, but it definitely just rounds thing off, makes it sound a bit more. And it's that kind of everything as well. So yeah, that's it. Maybe with a filter on the input, just so we can a few different pickups off your slacking kind of thing. Or
Joe.
No, mate. I'm going to go from left wing. I'm not going to say a range master because you all thought I would. I'm going to make a Sea Moon Funk machine, so an auto wah. I'll do that. This is my next video coming out, but with a stupidly sized clarity cap meant for an amplifier in there or an audio amp. So you all thought I was going to pick a range master, and I never. But yeah, I'm surprised how much I like for things like just for putting on and playing the songs that require a wah that I can't use because I'm crap. Yeah, I've had loads.
Is it an auto wah or is it like a cocked wah?
No, it's an auto wah. Like it actually modulates and stuff.
Oh, sweet.
It was a weird build. Like I've got to say, not my normal stuff. Every time I start building with Vero boards or strip board on the video, I always say, "Look, I know it's not as good as Simon's because I can't help myself." But look, I opened the back of one of the pedals he sent me, and I just want to fucking give up. You know,
but you say it's funny though, because again, like when I try and do tag board, I think the same, and I'm sure like when you do like point to point, like Justin and people like that, when you see them and it's like this is I've got a point to point somewhere and it's dog shit, and then you see people like Justin, you see people like Reeves, you see people that've got actual fucking talent, and you're like, why can't I do that? I've just got it in a nice little line.
Have you ever seen Have you seen the inside of a vintage Magnatone amp? It looks like someone put a load of components in their mouth and spat it inside the enclosure. That's exactly what they look like, and that's what mine look like if I'm going point to point. It's horrific. There's no sense to it. It looks like they've layered it onto. It's like, you know, that Kaplunk game where you pull a stick out every time.
Yeah,
it looks like
Yep.
Horrific.
We used to play that all the time.
Oh man, Green Ringer. Dave Barry's just said that's a good one. Yeah. And so we're going to have to go through now, obviously, the worst point of 2024, like the one bit that you wish you could have either done better or didn't go quite to plan. Shall I go first? Oh no, Simon's back. So Simon, it's the worst point of 2024. Not to be negative, but
well, no. And this the problem is it's dark, and I apologize in advance for it. 2024 has been shit for so many reasons, and one of the reasons is we've lost a lot of friends and family this year, and it's weird. I don't know, because obviously 2016 we lost loads of people, not just myself, but like famous people disappeared, and it seems to be like there's cycles where it's every few years loads of people pass away. So there's a local musician called Jim Widdop called Big Jim, or Big Jim's Big Squeeze was his band. Phenomenal guitarist, but also like dobro and pedal steel and stuff. And like a super nice guy as well. And he passed Christmas Eve, I think we found out, which was a proper shitter for this time of year. But yeah, then we lost a friend called Liam. We lost a friend called Tracy. There's been a lot, and that's all listed in the last couple of months. So it's been a weird year for that. And, you know, that's life, isn't it? You get to an age where you go to more funerals than you do weddings and things. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But, I feel like that's it. I've also had on a light note, I built a pedal for a guy. I built a Scream Toddy for a guy. So the Hot Toddy PCB is just, it's easier to build stuff on the PCB and then hack the PCB for other things. So started making a tube screamer around the PCB, and it was cursed. Like the whole thing ended up being cursed. So it's the first, it's not the first PCB to fail, but it's the first from this batch of PCBs to fail. And I replaced every single component on it, and it still didn't work. And it's, you know, when you can't figure out why. And so in the end, I just had to get another PCB, start again. It's fine, built it, posted it to him. And he messaged the day he got it, and he was like, I'm not being funny, but I think this might be broken. And it was, in an attempt to be tidy, I had put a wire, the wire was too tight, basically. And it was just, there was a little bit of bare wire grounding against the enclosure, which obviously when I was playing at home was fine, but then getting wiggled in the post was enough just to push it against the side of the enclosure. So he sent it back to me, and I explained that the first PCB I built for it was dead as well. And I was like, maybe this is cursed. And he then bought a tube screamer, another, like a really old, like 2017 tube screamer of one of mine. He bought off eBay, and that arrived not working as well. So I felt like it was,
mate.
Yeah, which, and it was just, again, with that, I'm not surprised. 2017, like Joe's talked about this before, and I imagine every builder talks about it, that your old builds, you learn so much as you go. So when you look back at old builds, you're like, Christ, I'm amazed that's going.
Yeah.
And this one, I was using charge pump circuits, so it was running at 27 volts internally. And at the time, I assumed a couple of things. I assumed you could use any Schottky diodes for the charge pump. You can't. And a big thing about space, like obviously PCBs, everyone goes about ground planes and how important it is to have a distance and like kind of width and all this stuff. And I hadn't, because it was a big circuit. I just crammed it in. So like the ground plane plus 18, minus 9, plus 4.5, all these kind of power rails were basically next to each other. So it was squealing. It wasn't dead. It worked, but it was squealing.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to the guys, like, oh, you know, maybe just try swapping the charge pump. And it didn't fix it. And I was like, oh yeah, there's something else wrong with this. And yeah, I sent it back. And again, you open it and you go, yeah, this is my fault. I should have thought about this at the time. But because they were both tube screamers, as a joke, I was like, do you know what? I think this is cursed. I think you need some white sage to burn to cleanse your tube screamer auras. So Late Night Simon, again, it just arrived one morning. Late Night Simon had bought 3 boxes of white sage incense. So when I sent him back that pedal, I sent him back a box of incense as well to cleanse his tube screamer auras.
That's great.
That's class.
It's life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I guess for me, the obvious, you know, going in the room would be the hurricane, like that, Nate. That's the worst thing of 2024 for us.
Oh, man.
I could have thought of so many other things, but that trumps it all. I mean, you know, and then the response after, they're still not telling everybody what happened. There's, you know, thousands of unaccounted for people, and it's been forgotten. That's the other thing. Like, people are freezing to death every night. Like, you know, I don't know how many friends I have that are left alive, and who's going to make it and who's not economically. You know, it pretty much threw the biggest monkey wrench it possibly could have at the worst time it possibly could have in a financial transaction I was making in order to build my shop on the land that I've got, which fortunately the land that I've got wasn't affected, but the town closest to it was halfway wiped off the map. Like Marshall was almost completely gone. Right. And so, yeah, I mean, you know, we still have like tons of toxic chemicals that were washed out of all these different processing plants, government sites that we don't even know what they were storing because they were military sites, classified, you know, because we manufacture nuclear weapons technologies and stuff like that in the mountains there. And so, yeah, that was a mess. Worst thing of 2024, hands down. Fuck you, Helene.
Yeah, fair play. Oh, I'm glad that I haven't got to follow that one, Alex.
I'm pretty cool.
Life in Portugal, like, yeah, well.
the life is probably slower here.
That's my favorite answer so far. Go on, then. We'll go for you, Justin. That's amazing.
I actually missed most of that because I keep losing audio, so I didn't hear most of it. But
we took a sudden downturn. Well,
yeah. The short version was everyone's dying all around the world. So
hashtag stop stakeholder capitalism.
No, but I'm probably very much the same as Alex. I've got nothing very bad to report. But no, I should probably say for your last question, so I don't get in trouble. Yeah. As a highlight, I got engaged on Christmas, so there we go. That's my highlight, really. There we go.
Congratulations, mate, and she's going to kill you for forgetting that one.
I'm safe now.
So my best and worst moment kind of coincide, and Marcus Reeves has just reminded me of it. I got absolutely terrorized for making a video about Josh Scott and on JHS. Oh my God, did the internet descend on me for that one? I weren't expecting that. There's a lot of hate in the world. I've got people who literally every social media post, video, anything I put out now, any short, they're on there telling me how terrible I am.
That's great.
Hey, I'm quite happy with it.
That is great because it's engagement.
Cheers,
the more
Marcus.
you engage, the more you get. You know, if people are watching it, it doesn't matter what they're watching it for. And they can blow off all the steam they want, and you can sit back and say, "You keyboard warriors, okay, bye."
I learned a lot there.
Right there.
Yeah, actually, the worst thing of this whole year, and I've still got PTSD about it now, is holding up the soundproof plasterboard while my father-in-law screwed it in this workshop. Every time I come in here, I look at it and think, "Fuck you." It was the worst.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Right, we've got a choice. We can either go through our goals for next year, or we can do the pedal giveaway. It's up to you guys where we go.
It's probably worth doing the pedal giveaway now. And then
let's do the pedal giveaway now. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So the premise behind this is, or the prefix is, I built this pedal out of a business card that Steve Demedash sent me with a pedal. He's such a legend, and he builds the best effects ever. The T120, I've got two of them. The best delay ever, hands down. But I felt bad trying to sell it, so I thought maybe I'd give it away on a podcast. And to enter it, all you had to do was remix my video, the build video, as a short, and tell me why you deserve to have this pedal. And what we're going to do is we'll go down our panel list, which is you lot, and you can give the video marks out of 10, and whoever gets the most marks wins it.
I'm going to take one brief second and put on a jacket because I'm starting to freeze down here.
Sound. I'm not going to be in the I'm not going to be in as a judge because I think it's a bit unfair because I could just pick whoever has the most views or something along them lines. But if you haven't already, go and have a look at it, Steve Demedash, and look at these business cards.
But is it a Demedash business card, or is it the Kurt Ballau one? Or it's one of his.
So it's an overdrive pedal he designed. It's in a business card, but it's got all of his business information on it and QR codes. So Jupiter Effects does one as well. Someone sent me a picture of theirs, but they don't sell it on the website. Otherwise, I'd be building one.
Well, this is why I asked, because Kurt Ballau did the Brutalist or Brutalist Junior, which is quite a popular one as well.
Does he sell them?
No, again, it was all, as you said, like literally like people handing out your business card.
Yeah. Well, I think I sent Steve a fuzz a while ago, and he sent me his new modulation pedal that's coming out. He sent me the prototype for it, but it come with this PCB. I just think it's brilliant. But yeah, so anyway, there's 6 entries I've whittled through because some people put like several entries in, and I thought maybe only allow one from each person.
Yeah,
there's different levels of skill. I mean, some people have literally just copied and pasted my video.
So what are we doing as far as our ratings on this?
So it's just out of 10. Yeah, there's 6 of them. We'll watch them one by one. You give them marks out of 10, and I'll write it down at the end. We'll add them up and see.
Sorry,
that's gonna tip the deck for people though, like because
you need to guide me on that. Sorry, Joe.
yeah.
Right. So what I'll do is I'll play one video at a time, and all you do is decide 10 being the best, 0 being the worst. You give them marks out of 10. So, for example, you could say, "Oh, that video is, amazing," and the premise behind it was, if you share my video and then tell me why you should get the pedal. Okay.
So it's like Olympic judging.
Yeah, but I'm not in it because I feel like it's unfair because I'll pick the person who got the most views because I could send them the pedal and then they make a video. I get attention. I'm not keen on that, so I'll stay out of it.
He's just the umpire. he's just the umpire, and we're the panel. A panel of 4.
Exactly. Okay, so here's the first video. Cut a triangle, sort of point into it, and then that way that can slide into the thinner hole, and we get to use a ridiculous size component in a PCB that's not meant for it. Get on. What do we think of that? Marks out of 10. Who are we going with first?
I don't think I could see half of that.
Half
of the screen.
It was literally just a black screen with writing on it.
Okay.
That was what he. So that was a video. Was that a 5 from John?
I don't know. I need one little.
Yeah. What did the text say on it? That was the other thing.
That was the point of writing it like that.
I'll play it again.
That's why he got it.
Yeah.
He got that.
I just fucked it up. Cut a triangle, sort of point into it, and then that way that can slide into the thinner hole, and we get to use a ridiculous size. So the text says, "This is what it looks like to use 100% of your brain, offering something like pedal tips." Or
okay,
that was from Third Tone from the Sun. So thank you, Third Tone, for sharing it. But so I've got a 5 from John. What about you, Simon?
I'm going to give it a 3. I like the ingenuity, but it needs to be more. There needs to be more than that.
Yeah. Okay, Alex.
4. A solid 4.
Oh, solid 4. I like it. Justin, what are we going
on
with?
A 4.
On a 4. Okay.
I want to see Joe's face with something really funny on it. So that's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
So that I make that as 16 in total. Right, number 2. So that was number 2. Basically, him pointing at himself saying, "I'm going to win this pedal." What are we going with from that one then?
I think. So I was going to say again. I couldn't see half of it, and I don't know if it's because it's trying to load YouTube within thing.
I think what's happening is
YouTube section.
It's showing up just as like a little tiny sliver in between us. Can we make it full screen while we watch it?
It's actually like a screenshot on my phone, which is the issue.
All right.
Yeah,
play it again to give it a fair shake.
Sounds. I'll play it again, and it's basically, if you look at the top third of the screen share is of the screen of YouTube, if you like.
Okay.
It shows it's, but for me, I just like to say, at least he put a bit of, he like cut himself out and posted it.
I'm gonna, okay.
Yeah, and he's just basically said, "Cheers, I've won this."
Yeah, I got a better idea from seeing it. I watched it on my big screen too. That helped. So.
I did try and cut these down, but I've absolutely failed. So yeah. What are we going with, John?
Did Simon go first?
No, you should go first. Then we
go first, mate.
I'm going to give that a solid 7.
7?
Yeah.
Okay. This is JD Faux Show for sure. I actually met him at the Birmingham Guitar Show, I believe. Yeah, he was there. Anyway, Simon, you're next up, mate.
Well, the problem is when you have a name like Simon, people think of you like Simon Cowell to start with, so you might as well lean into it. So I'm going to go for a 4 because it's a nice face.
Oh, okay. Alex?
A 5. A 5.
A 5.
A good. Yeah, it shows some effort. Some effort.
Yeah. Okay. Go on then, Justin.
And a 6. Just for
a 6. Yeah. Okay. So we're looking at 11, 20, 22. So JD for sure is in the lead now with 22. Get in. So some of them are a lot less inventive than that. Stick around to the end and you'll find out how you can win this overdrive pedal. Squeeze it past the massive pedal.
Did that mute on its own, or did you?
No, that was literally what it was.
That's literally what it was.
Yeah, that was from Don't Ask Me Dunk S, I think is the person there.
1.
Who said 1 there? Who's that?
Justin.
Justin, you're going 1. Okay, mate. Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like that's cold and cruel, and 1 is harsh. Yeah, I'm also going to go for 1.
Well,
no, I get it. It's the internet, isn't it? It's that weird. Yeah.
Hey, look, they put themselves forward to be judged.
Yeah.
A chance to win the medal. So happy days.
Well, 1 is the loneliest number, but the loneliest number other than 1 is 2. So I'll give it a 2.
Okay. What are we going with there, Alex?
I give it a 2.
A 2. Okay, so that's a solid 6 overall. Let's see. As a YouTube short with a little message on there somewhere that tells me why you.
Because I love Hello Sailor effects, and if I won this pedal, I would build a pedal board around it, film it, and put it on YouTube.
So that was Matt Coggins.
Sorry, could you play that again, please, mate? Because again, that was just. I feel like I don't know if it's. I assume it's my end, where I'm just getting half of it.
Yeah, so it was basically like me saying make a video, and then him saying a few words. I'll play it again.
I did. That's it. I didn't even see his face. It literally was like you going make a video, and then that's it.
All right. Okay. As a YouTube short with a little message on there somewhere that tells me why you.
Because I love Hello Sailor effects, and if I won this pedal, I would build a pedal board around it, film it, and put it on YouTube.
Yeah. So what are we thinking?
I'm thinking the 9 out of 10.
A 9 from John. Wow.
Yeah, because
look at that, Matt.
It was to the point. It incorporated Joe, and then he put his face over you, didn't he? Like he suddenly became you and said why. And so I thought good originality and straight and direct to the point. And hey, who doesn't like a good plug? If he's going to win the pedal, he's going to promote you. So way to win a contest, bro.
Well, what's everyone else thinking?
I'm going to go for a 7 because I still didn't see it, but based on what John said, it was probably all right.
Well, I'm glad that John's seen it, otherwise it would have just been me messing it up. So
no, I think it is my internet just being shonky.
Oh, cool. So go on then, Alex. Justin, what are we thinking?
A 10, but you need to watch the video afterwards. We need to
I think I'm harder to please. I'll go 6 again. Similar,
6.
Same effort as the other guy. So yeah.
So that one's 32. I make that. Matt Coggins, look at that. He's looks like he's running away with it. Here we go for the next one. Demedash effects. He sent me this over, and it's actually a working PCB.
And this guy needs it for Christmas, like real bad.
Who is this guy?
I don't know. It's just a Christmas doll.
I was like,
I didn't see anything that time, at all.
Yeah,
Really? Did anyone hear the voice or?
No.
I quite like
the whole video. Yeah.
Okay. I'll let everyone else judge first, and then I'll give like an average.
Cool.
8.
An 8
I
for
like that
Justin.
one.
I'm going to give that a 7.
I give it a 7. Yeah.
Okay. A 7 and a 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it an 8 because Justin's hard to please.
I make that as 30.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. Right, next. I don't think they get much better from here on out, if I'm being honest. Stick around to the end and you'll find out how you can win this overdrive pedal. Squeeze it past the massive car.
That's the same.
That's the same one from before. I've uploaded that twice, haven't I?
Yeah.
Holy.
That one's out of the ring.
There you go. You got another preview to the worst one so far. Whoever don't ask me dunks is well done.
Those got negative. That video got negative of what we got before, which was -1, -1, -2, -2. So
okay, so this is the last one.
Now it canceled itself out. It's no longer in the ring. There you go.
There's no runner-up prize, so here's the last one now. With a little message on there somewhere that tells me why you deserve to win.
Joe, I think I deserve to win it because the most boutique guitar-related object I own is a made in Mexico Strat.
I thought that was funny.
That's playing on the heartstrings, mate.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, my made in Mexico Strat's right over there. And it's pretty cool. So,
for Simon, if you didn't hear that, mate, well, he basically played a little bit of my video and then played a video with his Strat, and over the top he said, "I deserve it because the most boutique item I own is a made in Mexico Strat."
Oh,
yeah, I know. It was the same. I was like, oh,
yeah, that's
I'm gonna give it an 8 for that.
An 8 from John. Get on
for that, yeah.
Anyone who's next? Simon, I'll let you. Oh, do you
want
to go last?
Yeah, I'll go last. Just again as an average.
Alex,
a 9. A 9.
A 9. Oh, good God!
It touched my heart a little bit. Just a little bit.
It's a fine balance between outright marketing and touching the heart, man. It was a hard choice.
Justin,
8.
An 8. Oh, another 8. So I think it's that's down to you, Simon.
Yeah, let's go for an 8 again then.
Oh my God! Right.
Does that
I
tie
forgot
it?
who sent. Let me just. I need to double check. I don't think I got that guy's name. Uh-oh.
The last one.
Yeah, 33. So he wins it by 1.
By 1. Hey.
Nice.
So strings win.
I'm going to have to play it again to try and find the guy's name.
Again.
Right. What?
It's Dave. It's Dave Barry.
Oh, Dave.
It's Dave.
Oh, well done, Dave.
Dave.
You've officially won the Demedash.
Proof that heart wins over blatant capitalism.
Yeah. There you go.
And I think that deserves a bathroom break for me right now. So I'll let you guys chat amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
I think there's got to be an honourable mention there, because I think Matt Coggins, his one wasn't too bad. I'd have picked that one if I was going to choose any, but it was what a competition. I like that. Now, if I could only sort out my cropping skills for the videos, then we'd be right in there, wouldn't we?
I think I just, more than anything, I need to sort my internet out. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just Derby, because it might just be Derby. We are slow. Or if it's just my phone because it's trying to run other things. But yeah. I will say, whilst when I took my headphones off earlier, it's because I was trying to find the one point-to-point pedal that I have made. This was my high-quality point-to-point.
2 seconds, mate. Let me just put you on a main screen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Look at that face.
There we are.
So it's essentially a super hard-on with a no crackle gain part. And the gain is...
Size of them caps.
Oh, yeah. So those are my favourite bit. Those are old Wimmer caps that I've had to glue in. But everything else is just... It's hard to see because of the light, but it is just shonky. And it works. It sounds great. It's one of my favourite pedals.
That's class.
But I would never make another one. Well, that's not true. I did try and make another one, and it was a terrible mistake, and I shouldn't have done that.
They're really hard to do. I always start off thinking they're going to be so neat. I'm like, I'm going to do this. And then about 3 connections in, I'm like, fuck it. Anyway, it's going in. It's going in.
You've made like 4. You've made 3 right angles, and that was it. And then everything else is just a mess.
Well, little alone, I couldn't make a heart.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can.
I did this one probably 3 days ago.
Oh, I love the go of the stomp switch.
Yeah. Just for fun, but the
see if I've got a screwdriver.
It always gets me when I hear this. Can you guys hear it?
Is that something rattling in the?
Yeah.
Ah, man.
Yeah. Probably it's the because of the gauge, the gauge of the wire. Probably it's too thin.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm not very good at point to point. I like doing the odd thing, like a little resistor for the LED or something. I'll fly that off there, or maybe an output cap or something like that. But there's just no way I'm doing the whole thing. I can't.
For years, I did every LED with, like you said, like a resistor directly to the LED, then to the foot switch. And someone was joking that I could then claim that every pedal had a little bit of point-to-point soldering in it.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I do that. I think I'm just not neat enough with it, and it takes so long.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
Apparently, blue tack's the answer.
That's what people keep telling me, but I hate the feel and smell of it. Like it's just, especially once it gets heated up and stuff. It reminds me of being in school, and I think I was allergic to school. So,
blue tack is the answer.
There you go.
Whatever the question was.
Blue tack.
Yeah. I can't. It was to hold components in place while you solder.
Don't think I can get them back off it.
Someone also suggested that for building pedals, because when you're marking out Vero board or strip board, you're cutting the opposite way round because you're cutting on the bottom. And one of the guys said, "Why don't you just use your phone to flip the picture, and then you can just draw on the underside and cut it as you see it?" And I tried that, and could I do it? And my brain just wouldn't work. Like, I can't do it. I need to just do it my own way.
Like reverse, yeah. But I usually check like a mirror thing, you know. Mm-hmm. So
I just couldn't do it. As soon as I flipped it, so then it was all straight in the right way round. My brain kept trying to flip it back.
So a few people have asked me about this because I get the flipping it round, but as you say, it freaks me out. So for years, I've done it like this. So again, I don't know how well this come up. The bottom corner of everyone, the bottom left corner, on the front, I do a little blue square so that when I flip it round to the copper side,
a reference
so that's
point.
Exactly. And the same with rows of 10. So on every 10, there's a little blue line, and again on the front. So it's having reference points around it, so you know exactly where you are at all times.
Is this my favorite comment I've ever had on any video? Sorry, mate. So for those listening, it says, "I feel like I should have entered this competition basically and said, 'Hello, Sailor Joe bought transistors from me on eBay and never left feedback. They were legit, fella. Happy New Year, guys.'" Is this the NKT transistors I bought recently? Because they were fantastic. Thank you so much. I can just never remember to leave feedback. I'm terrible.
This is par for the course with Joe. It's like I had to remind him we had a podcast how many times?
Oh, mate.
Right.
I think every day over the last 4 days I've said to him, "I'll do the thumbnail tonight and create the show." And he's like, yeah, okay, mate, I'll let people know. And then he'll message me again. I'll be like, "Oh, no, shit, I forgot."
I think everybody
I'm scared to unlock my phone because as soon as I unlock my phone, there's like a 1,000 messages to answer. It's like,
oh, I know, man.
Fuck it. Yeah, it's killing my productivity. Like, and I've got a 5-year-old who's also got chicken pox. Not that I'm playing woe is me, but wow, is that hard work?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like five-year-olds in general are hard work.
I was going to say 5-year-old in general is hard work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, and here's a good one from Marcus. He never marks his pedalboard. Oh, wait.
The Groucho Marx glasses. I love
it. He keeps them in the drawer. In fact, he never takes them out. Oh, fantastic. Oh, man. Yeah, so this is another thing that Dave Barry said, that he uses a 2mm drill bit. I've actually got one with a screwdriver handle for that purpose, but I just never use it. I use a Stanley blade. I'm from Liverpool. I'm meant to have a Stanley knife in my hand. So I feel like, I don't. I get so many comments of people telling me off. But
I usually use a drill bit also, yeah.
Yeah, so I use a drill bit, but in an electric drill. But again, I don't know how easy that is to see. So I've intentionally snapped off the drill bit, so it's teeny tiny.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a 3mm drill bit, and it works perfectly every time. It just gets through the copper without messing around. So you can fly if you've got lots to do. It flies through it.
But you do it with the drill?
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's loads of caveats for this. So this I can't explain how bad this drill is. I don't feel like there's no power in it. It's an old drill. Okay. It's a 14 watt drill. I bought a new drill to do drilling things with, and it was too much. So basically,
I've got to address that England to do drilling things with.
Yep, that's perfect.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, so it works because it's a knackered drill that doesn't go very fast with a drill bit that I've intentionally broken, and it works perfectly. But I can't. I've tried recreating it on a proper drill, and it's not very good. So that's the caveat for it.
It's a 3mm dedicated tool system now.
Yes. I did have to use it for proper drilling recently, and that was a mistake because I then had to try and put this back in, and because of where I snapped it, it's wonky. So it's that was a nightmare.
Oh, Wadey's just come up with a good thing. The honourable mention on our competition should get the YouTube earnings for that video. Well, I think that's a fantastic idea. So I'll actually I'll show you what it is for that video.
It's still going to be on the Spotify.
£2.60. So not great, but it won't buy you the pedal. In fact, I don't even think it'll buy you the op-amp.
I mean, it's more than
it's not even going to get you the postage.
Yeah, fair one.
But it's still more than if you had 3 million streams on Spotify.
Fair one.
This is true,
mate. I love it. I'm just
like I kid.
I would make these videos for free. In fact, I'd pay people to watch them. I thought I might have to pay people to watch them. Yes, mad.
Oh yes.
I don't know. Right, and also, so let's move on to 2025. So there's going to be two here. It's going to be what your goal is for music in general. It could be I know at least one of us, not me, plays in a band. I can't even play, or like your goals for 2025, and then the second thing is a resolution, like a New Year's resolution, and we're doing both together. That way, when Simon shoots his load early, he can we'll all just be the same. So if we're going to start, I think it's fair if I just start because I've just sprung it on you, so you have a chance to think. And my goal for 2025 is to get to 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. Right now, I'm at 1,989, I think. So another 1,000 subscribers on YouTube is my goal. And my resolution is to stop being such a fat feck and start going to the gym again. I used to be, probably when I met Simon back in 2017, I was weighing my food. I was training 3 times a day. I was a machine. And now I've turned into a fat old man and my 5-year-old's outrunning me. So my goal I've never been able to keep up the pedals and be obsessed with the gym at the same time. And now what I'm going to do is YouTube, pedals, and gym, and I'm going to do it all. No surrender.
Keep yourself building pedals in the gym.
Oh, mate, that's it. Eating pedals for gains. Yeah, I'm going to do it, mate. Yeah, that's going to be my goal anyway.
I was going to say, you could say you were eating gains for gains.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
All the gains. Someone make me a muff now. Yeah. So that's me. I think if we go from left to right on the screen, so next up is you, John.
Well, for me, let's see. My goal for 2025 is going to be to get my shop set up and have my online retail outlets set up that I was going to have before the Christmas season, before the hurricane reset all that. So that's the goal that I've got for 2025, get back to where I wanted to be. And I'm going to keep with every New Year's resolution I made since I made the resolution to never make another New Year's resolution ever again.
Well done. I like it. Okay, moving on to Alex then.
Well, so we have a lot of models, pedals to unleash to the world in 25, but I don't know. It's hard because I will talk at the end of it if you guys don't mind.
Cool. Yeah. Moving on. Justin, over to you, mate. Oh, sorry, Simon. Did you want to go?
No, I was just going to say to Alex, is there a pedal you're most excited about getting out next year?
Well, probably the it's like it's kind of a super fuzz. It had like an OEM thing, but it's like do you guys know the Marlboro fuzz or the Ibanez standard fuzz?
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, the standard.
So yeah, the one with slides. They have two slides and two foot shifts. Yeah. We just made this prototype, and we are still tweaking it. But
cool.
Yeah.
That looks good.
This one,
that enclosure looks so good.
And check out the
super big. Yeah.
The cliff jacks, the white cliff jacks.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's a sweet touch too. I like that. Wow.
But
yeah, I would be excited about that too.
Why not?
If I was making that, I'd be excited.
Over to you, Justin.
Goals. I've got definitely some champ style builds coming up. Some of my first amps. That should be quite, hopefully it'll be fun if I don't kill myself doing it, but fingers crossed. Yeah. But so definitely that. And hopefully some pedals with an artist, but we don't know yet. We'll see.
Ooh,
resolutions I don't do, so.
Really? Am I the only one who makes New Year's resolutions?
Never stick to them, so.
That's the only resolution I ever kept. The only resolution I was ever capable of keeping was the one that I made that I was never going to make another one. I would set goals. But I would never resolve to do anything like that because every time I resolved, it kept like having something come along and derail it. You know, it's like beyond your controls. Well, like, how can you resolve that?
Yeah, but I have this weird thing where as if I say something, then I have to do it. Like I refuse to accept anything because it's come out of my mouth. My engineering degree, mate. I am so stupid that 10 minutes into the first maths lesson, the instructor said to me, "Look, mate, you're never going to pass this course. You might as well give up now." And I was like, "No, I'm passing." And he said, "And your calculator's too old. You need to buy this updated one. You're too stupid to pass with that one." And so I struggled through the whole 2 years. And I mean the whole 2 years doing all this working out instead of buying a new calculator. And at the end of it, I went up to him and said, "Ha, I passed it with this one." And he said, "I don't give a fuck, mate." 2 years of hell. all his sums, and I was like, no, I've said I'm doing it, so I'm doing it.
You know, I've been there, done that, so I know what you mean, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's that stubborn resolve. Now that's a different kind of resolution. That's resolve.
Fast forward to
resolve,
next new year.
mate.
I'll be even fatter than I am now and failed.
That's what you don't need resolutions. You need resolve.
There you go.
That's what you need. That's your New Year's resolve, mate.
Yeah, happy with that. Oh, go on then. Over to you, Simon.
There's lots of the problem is there's two things. The problem, one, my brain is broken as it is, and secondly, Late Night Simon gets involved, and he'll be the one driving forward whatever
nonsense.
Late
Night Simon. You like Late Night Simon?
He's all right. He's all right, but he's also. It'd be better if he kept me informed about his terrible decisions. So yeah. So I mean,
he's not been leaving you sticky notes.
No,
multiple personalities are supposed
exactly.
to do. That's how you
I know.
communicate. What's with
no,
that?
I think that's the problem because I don't realize when I get into Late Night Simon mode. I'm well aware it's relative to my medication and how much pain and stuff I'm in, and how much medication I've had to take. But I don't. It's like drinking, where you don't realize how drunk you are until the next day when you're like, "Wow, I was really drunk." So it's Late Night Simon's like that. And normally it's when
I have no idea how that was.
But it's when you wake up. Yeah, I normally wake up and check my emails, and then that's when you find out if things have happened. Or again, with eBay and components, it's when things just arrive, and you're like, "What did I need this
What
for?
did I buy this time?"
Yeah,
I'm the same way. Hey.
Hubcap John with a great one there. Our very own Tyler Durden. What a film that is, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey.
But unlike Tyler Durden, I do manage to get some sleep thanks to medication, which is part of the problem. So yeah, there's a few things. So obviously the Lost Tone Bender, I want to do something with that. I'm super stoked about that. I think I quite like this colorway as well. It's like a weird, it's a textured paint with then like a gunmetal paint over it, which doesn't come across in this light at all. So that the Nightingale Drive, which is my discrete op amp blues breaker, obviously I launched this year. I'm going to do more with it next year. I think, like I said last time, it's hard because with the Hot Toddy, it was like my firstborn, and so I put so much effort into that everything after that feels not lackluster, but I don't have the same drive to push these other things out. So yeah, so there will be other stuff like that. There's still a load of I've started leaning into the Late Night Simon thing, so there are some more Late Night Simon builds going on. So there's another Tube Screamer where it's the 5-knob version. He's bagged up parts for what looks like the OD. What was it? Maxon OD 8 something. 820? No, not the 820. I can't remember what it was now. But anyway,
is that the four knob overdrive? Is it?
No, it was the Maxon overdrive. That if you see it now, you see the schematic now, it looks like a Tube Screamer the wrong way round. So it's like the tone stack into hard clipping into the gain stage. It's weird.
Oh.
But the original version wasn't that. The original version was essentially a DOD 250, almost like one for one a DOD 250 into the Tube Screamer tone stack. And I built it because I had the parts, basically. I had all the vintage parts for it. And that was one where, thankfully, Late Night Simon did leave crumbs. So I started watching one on Reverb, even though it was like 1,200 quid. I was clearly never going to buy it. And then when I opened up Chrome, the first 3 pages that had been opened up were about the kind of schematics for it and stuff. So it made sense at least. But he's put together a discrete op amp version of that with some of the old parts again. So that should be interesting. With those old, I've fallen in love. I hate myself for it. I've fallen in love with the big Hunts capacitors, like the big old red ones.
So good.
They're so good. And
good.
But the problem is all the ones I've bought them in job lots of like mixed. There's some people on eBay where they sell like the old tins just full of random components.
Yeah.
And a bunch of those had those Hunts capacitors.
I think I know the guy. Are they like £17 for the tin?
Yeah.
And it's all mixed up. I bought loads from that guy. I hope it's not the guy that I didn't leave feedback for before gas. Sorry, mate.
I still have some to arrive probably next week.
Yeah.
I can't wait till the ham radio festivals start up again here in the States, because that's where I find a lot of that stuff. One of my favorite caps are the Sprague Atoms. Those things are awesome.
But absolutely terrible in amplifiers. I really don't like.
It depends on which one it depends on which one. Like you don't want to
use the blue
them
ones.
Yeah, no. I mean
the filter caps.
There's red ones. You want the red ones. Like Simon's talking about. There's ones that are like 650 volt that are in a really heavy. These are military spec. That's what I'm saying. I found these at ham radio places, and I was blown away at the tolerance.
I think recently Sprague and their electrolytics have took a right dive.
Well,
they've gone down. It's like a really lightweight.
It's a name that was bought. It's not the same.
I need to ask Copper Conk says JSA FX top tier stuff. Completely agree. I'd love to know what ones of his pedals you own. I own several at this point. I've stole several at this point as well. Sorry.
It's so I joke about this quite a lot, and it's weird. I think we've all talked about it before. That idea that when you're doing stuff online, especially things like Instagram, you have to become a content creator. You can't just be a pedal builder, which I really struggle with because I imagine all of us to some extent are self-deprecating and self-loathing, and as any kind of creative, you hate everything you build in reality. But then you come online and you have to be positive and say nice things about it. So again, like the hot toddy, I joke when I say I think everyone should have a hot toddy, but I mean it is a cool pedal. But yeah, I really struggle. I think we all struggle with it to some extent. But I did do the maths at some point and realised that the average JSA pedal enjoyer owns 3 JSA pedals.
That's amazing.
It's cool, and it's nice because it tends to be someone will buy one and then message me and go, that was cool, can I have another one? And the third pedal either tends to be, again, they've come back for something specific, or they found one online and just messaged me going, I saw this used for like 50 quid. I'm like, cool, that sounds like a bargain. And it's nice that, it's cool.
I think I've got about 5 or 6 of your pedals now at this point, maybe.
I don't know. I'm just because I think I've got 3 of yours.
So we definitely swapped 3, and I definitely stole 1. So there's 4.
Yeah, I don't. I can't. That's the other problem. Is that like
I swapped one with Joe, a dual pedal, like at I forget what it was now. It was
the ample drive one with the scorpion on it. Yeah.
No, not that one, mate. It was a different one. It was a I'll dig it out in a minute. It was one that he had me paint for him. I painted it bright pink.
Yeah. Oh, bright. Oh, yeah. That was 2 Dod 250s. Yeah.
I know the one.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Dod 250s with like a 3rd foot switch, and it was Paisley, wasn't it, in the end?
Yeah.
Wow, is that still work?
I own that as well. Yeah.
Cool. Again, that was like an old build that there's loads of people. We saw, then a royal we. I saw Jason Mabry, Jason's name of Mabry Guitars recently, and on his board he's got one of my fuzzes, like the big 6 knob fuzz, and he's got a compressor on his other board. And they're both from about 2018. And part of me, every time I see them, I'm like, that's going to die at some point. I've got a horrible feeling it's going to die. And it's like, no, I've taken them around the country. They work fine. And it's nice to have that kind of reassurance. Because, I think with all of us, the longer you build, the less worried you become about these things. But early days, there is... If it were, I think early days people build. I built, and if it worked, it worked, and I didn't question it, and I didn't mess around with it, and just kind of stuck with it and hope for the best.
There you go, mate. You're inspiring people to buy to try your discrete op amps.
Do it, man. Honestly, discrete op amps. I was going to say change my life. That's really melodramatic. But the discrete op amps are cool. I recommend everyone gives it a go.
And then I think this is the Sprague. Gas is saying he ditched some of the Sprague cats. Yeah.
The greasy caps are they the ones you're talking about?
That's cool, mate.
The blue ones, maybe.
The red Sprague caps. I think it was when we were talking about them.
Yeah, but you were talking about you don't like using the blue ones.
The blue ones. Mainly in amplifiers.
They leak a grease.
Oh, right, okay.
A white lithium grease is what he's talking about. They also have a white with blue lettering package, and it has a white lithium grease too. And
so that's the 22 UF smaller voltage caps. Yeah, them ones usually go bad too.
Yeah.
Same
I've
as
had to
like
replace a bunch of those
Bumblebee caps or Black Beauty caps in an amplifier, like my Gibson amp and stuff. They come straight out because they're terrible. But in a pedal, fine. But you don't.
in a guitar circuit,
you don't want to be using them. Yeah. Are
they terrible on amps because of the voltage, or are they terrible on amps
because of the time spent? They're the cheapest caps ever, and that's why they were used.
Yeah.
And so over time they don't hold
and
up well.
Also the heat.
Yeah.
The heat deteriorates them quite a
exactly.
bit when you're using a tube circuit.
Yeah.
Whereas the old Ajax blue molded caps, I've never found a bad one in any amp that I've worked on. They've always been good, even when it's up to 500 volts in a circuit.
Amazing. Yeah.
Which is why I'm swapping the caps out on this amp back to blue molded. I'm sure everyone will hate me for that, but I'm doing it. I don't care.
Am I weird that I'm just not fussed about guitar amps that much? And it sounds like I have an amp and I play through an amp, but I know loads of people, like again yourselves included, where like their amps are cool. I don't know.
It's a whole different rabbit hole.
Yeah, it really is
a whole different rabbit hole.
So I'm working on this thing at the minute. If I can get it.
No, the cool thing about
my little giant.
Yeah.
A croc skin. That's going to be my next video. Bring it. It's got some real bad background. Yeah, the croc skin thing. It's got some real bad background noise going on it. I think it's the filter cap, to be honest.
What is your circuit that's in there?
It's its own thing, mate. It's a little giant.
Okay. So
it's an EL84 output, and I think it's got an what's the smaller rectifier valve?
AX7 or AY?
No, rectifier. EZ80, I think.
Okay.
Is the rectifier, but it's got a 12AX7 or ECC83.
Okay.
In the preamp. Yeah.
Okay.
But the problem is it's not like a chassis. It's just like a plate of metal with the transformer screwed to it, and then that's screwed to a wooden box. So there's no actual RF.
It's like my Silvertone. I've got a Silvertone amp in case amp, and it's just like there's some sheet metal and some tubes hanging down from it, and you're like, whoa, okay,
exactly that.
Might die a 2-prong plug, and
the power transformer in that weighs a ton as well. So I don't know how it's still attached for the start, but I've got some silver foil tape that I definitely didn't steal from a warship, and it's not military grade. But I've got some of this stuff, and it's like 150 quid a roll. It's ridiculous. It's like bomb proof. And it's not from a warship, if anyone's from the Navy watching.
It's not for repairing ductworks.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to coat the inside with that and hope for the best. But it's got the original speaker and also it's like an ELAC or ELAC. ELAC.
The name rings a bell, but I feel like it rings a bell for like loudspeakers rather than amps.
It's all like WEM and Westminster, and you know what was WEM before it was WEM, Watkins. They use them all. You know, like the Dominator and all that. Yeah, they use them. It's a British brand. When we were all trying to copy Fender from back in the day, or whatever it was. I'm excited to see Justin's amps. Building amps is like the most fun thing ever. It just takes forever, and there's no money in it whatsoever.
Oh, yeah.
Like I've got a train wreck.
It's a labor of love.
I know. I built a train wreck there, and it's got the original output transformer from a hi-fi stereo that I can't remember the name of, but it's an A470 transformer. Anyway, it was like ridiculously expensive, and I thought I'll sell them all of it. And then when I built it, it was too expensive, so no one wanted to buy it. And I've just got a train wreck amp sat on the side. Brilliant.
I was talking to someone about making your own Model T. Like the Sun Model T thing, and because I think Jupiter it's Jupiter that have started making. They've started selling one, haven't they?
Yeah.
And it's priced. It seems quite high for the price, and then once you work out how much it would cost to make your own, even with like a basic faceplate and stuff, suddenly it doesn't seem that expensive to buy one. Yeah.
Well, the transformer too. Don't skimp on a transformer. That's the heart and soul of your amp. If you put a cheap transformer, it doesn't matter how good your tubes, how good your caps, how good anything else in it is, because you've got dirty, horrible power.
And definitely another thing to think of is I always thought just the output transformer mattered, but I've got a train wreck clone over there that I put a cheap power transformer on. Although all the ratings are fine, it tests voltage wise, it sounds terrible. The amp sounds horrific. and I couldn't figure out why. And I'm thinking it might be
it's the transformer, probably. That's it. Okay, take it from the old guy in the room here who's been in a music store that's had tons of things come in for repair. If you have like things that you can't track down, it's probably something arcing in your transformer. If you have things that are blowing tubes all the time, or you keep like going through tubes, like your transformer, you know, it's one of those things that gets overlooked by techs all the time because everybody's focusing on caps and resistors and, you know, tube sockets and all this stuff. If your transformer's bad, everything else is bad from that point on.
Well, Simon, if you're thinking about building one of them Model T amps, I've been looking at them as well. There's this kit that costs, if you can get it up there, 840 quid, and you get everything with it.
Where's that from?
It's a place on Reverb.
Oh,
okay. The store's name? Ural Tone, Helsinki, Finland.
Oh, maybe that, because it wasn't me thinking about it. It was somebody else I was speaking to.
All right. Yeah, but I was looking at them because I was like, I really want a Model T, but I can't afford one. And then when I priced up to build the parts, can't afford one.
Yeah, I think it's the power thing that scares me, which is why I'm quite happy with guitar pedals. Because 9 volts, I mean, everything will kill you, but it feels slightly less dangerous. I mean,
I had the same thing, mate. My first amplifier, I was building a brown face deluxe, and I was stressing. I was like, I don't want to turn it on. I'm scared of the voltage and stuff. And my wife was like, well, what you doing work? What voltages? I said, well, 440 volts AC and 750 volts DC. And she's like, how much is in the amp? 400 volts DC. And she's like, what are you worried about? I was like, well, I haven't got... And then I thought about it. It's like, it's because I'm not wearing my overalls and I haven't got my uniform on. That's the only difference. I was like terrified of the thing. And I was like, back in work, 750 volts DC. No problem.
You're not in your idiom.
Yeah. It was like, I'm in my civilian attire now, so it's dangerous.
That's exactly how it works.
I'm not paid for this.
Yeah.
I'm not paid to take this risk anymore.
Well, I really do like building amps. I'm gonna film the recap job on me Fender, so then everyone on the internet can tell me how unqualified I am to work on them.
Have another dig at JHS somehow.
If anyone watches the video, it really weren't a dig. It was me saying how much I love them.
You got to pick on somebody different. You got to don't go back.
Someone my own size.
Well. No, don't go back to the same well. Find somebody else's fan base to get irate, and then you'll get them all. It's like Pokemon.
If I pick on someone my own size, no one to see the video.
It's Poketroll. That's the new game, guys. Poketroll. I declare it 2025. We got to catch all the trolls.
I like it.
The problem is JHS fanboys are, because I jokingly call it pedal bros, because it kind of is. I've not seen a fan base like it.
And he is the first one to call him out on it too. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
It's like he's like, guys.
He's amazing. He really is.
He's a great guy, man. I've met him.
He hasn't put his prices up for like 5 years.
I know. Yeah.
None of us can say that because my pedals have almost doubled in that time.
I mean, he's just one of the real guys, and he shares everything that he knows with everybody. Like I'd go and check out every one of his build programs and learn things. Even though I've been doing this for as long as he has, I still learn things, and he learns things. That's what's so cool. He's learning on the go too. He's like, I just figured this out. Whoa, this is cool, guys. So it's like, I mean, that's what it should be. That's my opinion.
He's so free with the information, and I hate people who hoard all the information and try and keep it to themselves. I just can't stand that.
It's that way in any discipline, man. Martial arts being one of the worst.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Like so many martial artists thought that, their personal family lineage style taught them how to throw a right cross or, a left hook better than this other. It's like, it's still physics. It's still point A to point B. Get over yourself. That's the way I look at it, man.
Yeah. You just don't need that, do you?
You don't. It makes it not fun for everyone. That's why I got off of forums, is you get your keyboard warriors going on and on and on. And it's easy to get, really brave and say a lot of stupid stuff when you have nothing but a typewriter and a screen in front of you.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. FAFO.
Here's one from Hubcap John, before we get too far, from the blue MKT orange drop style caps. He's saying you can't find any references online. I feel like John's going to have seen these.
Some blue MKT orange drop.
MKT is like a film cap, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember.
Are those sorry, go ahead.
I'm trying to discover, like, kind of, is it dark blue or is it light blue? Because
I thought it was quite different... So John showed me them because we were talking. It was when we were talking about orange drops, and he showed me them. He goes, "Do you reckon?" I've never seen anything like it before. In my head, it was a lightish blue.
Okay, yeah, I have seen those before. I know what he's talking about. I mean, I've had them show up in grab bags of capacitors. I don't know a lot about them, and I think it's probably just something that, you know, was out there at a certain time period. It was their color for whatever that year was. So
yeah,
it, you know, I don't know anything specific about them, like what the composition would be or anything like that. So
the lids are straight, or they have some like some curves from factory.
For the legs.
Yeah, for the legs, or like I
think it was. Yeah, I think it's the orange drop, like hook in and then down like that. So it's like a little spring bit.
Right.
Oh, there's a bit of information. Marcus says that the Gen made Fox tone bender used them. So
that would make sense.
Let me check.
So that would make me think that at least British made then.
It's Philips, isn't it?
It might be.
Were Philips a British brand?
Yeah, Philips Mullard.
Yeah, I was going to say Mullard, the Philips part of it. I think wasn't Philips the American, Mullard was the English, and Valvo was the Dutch, and they all made it together.
Probably, yeah.
I get obsessed with caps.
I believe there are some crossover. Some, for instance, in transistors, you have some the Dutch OC style being branded as British, for instance. So it's like
definitely.
So what I found too.
Sorry, guys. I will just ask you for 2 minutes, okay?
No,
for some of the things that I found that are really cool is, like, I found Texas Instrument caps, you know, being sold in America that were made in Britain. Like, whenever I got into the really nerdy part of it and started identifying the cans and the markings on the cans, they go back to a British factory that Texas Instruments was using.
Oh, cool.
So it's a TI cap and American products made in England. And
there you go, John. ECG Philips caps.
Yep. Yes.
From Hobo Roadie.
Yeah, the ECG brand. I mean, they were all over the place. Like, they were the go-to replacements for appliances and electronics. You could just go to your local hardware store and buy, you know, your ECG caps right off the rack. Probably came in a Ziploc bag or a blister card.
I've just had a guy comment, and it was probably one of the Fury RAF JHS, for lack of a better word, bum boys, who commented on my last video saying that tropical fish caps are cheap caps. And I was like, well, yeah, some of them are, but if you get them in the original packaging, the Philips box, you know, they come in a lovely Perspex box, and what have you. Some of them are really expensive. You know, they built the range. Some of them are,
it's like,
crumble in your hands, and some don't. You know,
it's like everything else. You know, I mean, there's caps that I've, you know, gotten from what supposedly is like the legendary Japanese era, and they just fall apart, like the film and foil caps. You put a soldering iron on them, and the legs just pop right out. And then others, like, you know, from the same era, but like you could like nearly burn the things up and they'll take it. So what were they made for? What tolerances? All that, like, doesn't matter if they're made by the same manufacturer in the same factory as what, you know, was the end use. That's why I like to go for some of the overrated stuff, is because I know it's going to take it. I don't need a 600 volt capacitor there, but I know it's going to take the heat whenever I put it in.
Also, it'll be bigger and it looks better. If it looks better, it sounds better.
Well, this is my favorite tropical fish that came in a bag of stuff from Rolls-Royce.
Oh, wow.
It's clearly had no marking on it at all. And it was in a bag where half of them, the paint must have still been wet when they were putting stuff in bags. And it's just it's a fact. I think regardless of how they sound, if you think they sound cool, they sound cool.
Here's a good one.
It's a new
Third tone from the sun.
You've got a glass fish cap there, Simon.
Yeah, fair one.
Market
anyone?
The ultimate rare tropical fish, the glass.
The one of one.
You've got the glass fish cap, bro. Sorry.
Fair tone from the sun says, has anyone done anything with old organs? There's a Hammond local too. If you can get a Hammond
way
with
too paranoid to have read that. Anyone done any organ harvesting? I'm like,
hey, I know.
Yeah.
So I got some General Elect caps. Not caps, some General Elect transistors, like black coloured ones from an organ. I think I got about 30 from there, and they lasted me forever, and not one single one was bad. They were all amazing. So if that's got them in and it was a Hammond organ, I'll fight you for it. No, I won't, because I'm a wimp. I'll get someone else to fight you for it. Well, fantastic.
It depends on which 60s Hammond you're talking about, because they made a lot of Hammonds in the 60s. And some of the stuff was like, bottom of the line consumer stuff, like, student, and some of it was full on church organ. So if you've got like the B series, the C series, that kind of stuff, you're going to find some incredible things, but it's worth more if you restore it back to an organ, even if it's not working, than to cannibalize it. Now, if
that's
you got
what I was going to say.
Yeah,
with this old Hammond.
If you got an L series, something like that.
Sorry, guys, I'm gonna have to run. My wife wants to run out and pick something up for my daughter. She's up not too well.
Hey,
I'm just gonna bow out. I'll catch us all later. Please enjoy the rest of the show, everyone. And it's been emotional. It's been a great year. I'll catch us later.
All right, take care, Joe.
Cheers later, boys.
Cheers, Joe. Hey, it's just us guys. Quick before he gets back.
Yeah. I was going to say. I was going to say earlier. I don't know if we talked about it, but your gear of the year. Did we talk about that, or am I going crazy? I might be going crazy.
We talked about so many
gear.
Things.
Our gear or other people's gear?
Other people's gear. So pedals. They don't necessarily need to have come. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we didn't talk about it. Yeah. So pedals that are you either bought this. They don't have to have come out this year, but you bought this year that were wonderful.
I can start with. I don't have it here at the shop, but do you guys know the when Pedal Builder call that the brand at least is called Nova Scotia?
Yeah.
I don't think I do.
He makes several models inspiring 60s and 70s fuzzes. But he makes his own enclosure. Basically, he makes the enclosures out of maple, probably.
Nice.
Like literally flame maple. Everything
beautiful.
Top of the line. It's beautiful.
I would love to see that.
I'll share some pics with you. But. Yeah, one of the best things I acquired this year.
Nice.
It's a Vox V8 28. The pedal. It's inspired of.
Oh, sweet.
Nice. Yeah. So are they all because you're hand making the boxes out of wood? Are they all kind of one of ones then? It's not.
Yeah. Some of them have a super deep flame. Some have some like a different grain.
Like the bird's eye, and like maple has so many beautiful varieties in it. I mean, it's just I could go grab some of the flame tops that I have and show you guys like all the different book matches that I've got. And there's things that I will not put on a guitar because they created portraits. When I book matched it, it's like I'm going to frame it and put it on the wall. And Paul Reed Smith does the same thing. Like I've had like interactions with Paul when I was working for like a boutique lutherie company, and he was doing a custom line for this place called Dream Guitars. And when we were like working with him, he has a room where he's got book match sets that he couldn't bring himself to put on top of a guitar. And it's just like, they'll never see anything other than the inside of the office or whatever. So wood is one of my weaknesses. Like I can get lost in the grain for hours. So that's my jam. You know,
but it's like Alex said earlier that I think this all the time, and it's always fascinating to hear you're proven right. I feel like every guitar pedal builder ever has pedals that they've built that they do not want to sell, and I think not necessarily. I've lost my train of thought, but yeah, we've all got pedals that we build that we don't want to sell, and sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But I also feel like we've all probably got pedals that we've built one for ourselves, and you love it so much that you don't want to make any more. But you also, it's like a secret favorite pedal that you kind of love and use. Yeah, it's just them nodding everywhere. Yeah,
it's the one pedal to rule them all.
Yeah.
Basically.
Right, Justin, pedal of the year. I was going to say gear of the year then.
I'll go and grab something and I'll show you. I'll go on,
all right.
My workplace is upstairs, so I'd have to. I'll be 2 seconds.
Okay.
I guess for me, while he's going and grabbing his, I only bought one thing, but I think getting your simple screamer, that was really cool. That was the game changer kind of thing when I put it in my circuit and started having 2 tube screamers to play with. Because I've got the Krampus circuit, which is basically the bass tube screamer. Because I'm a bass player, but having the tube screamer so simplified, and also had the fortune of having a Keeley modified tube screamer that I repaired for someone in my collection for a little while I was testing it out. So I was able to really get a whole gamut of tube screamer stuff going on and just seeing how cool you could get it to sound with so few components and eliminating a lot of the waste. That was a game changer for me. So I think that was probably one of the coolest things I got in 2024 was your pedal.
Thank you.
And totally out of the blue. I didn't expect it at all, man.
No, it's I think
suddenly my mom says, "Were you expecting anything?" I'm like, "No." And it looks like I've got a package of drugs, and it's like my mom's going, "Yeah, right. You weren't expecting anything."
I say this all the time with it. I wanted to, the whole point with the simple screamer was to build it, make a circuit that you didn't need weird components for. So all the caps are the same. They're mostly the same size, and all the values are normal. And yeah, I figure just the more people that see it, because everyone wants to build a tube. No, that's not true. Everyone at some point in their building career will build a tube screamer, and the majority of people will hate it because they won't have the W taper pot, which is a pain in the ass to find. They won't have the whatever MA150s or the Toshiba One diodes, which are hard to find. They won't have it's those things that make it an old school tube screamer sound great. So the whole point was to try and figure out how to do it in an easy way. You know, if you've bought those kits you buy off Amazon where it's 20 of each of your standard capacitors and resistors. Yeah, just something like that.
Pretty much experimenter's kit, your DIYer's kit.
Exactly.
They sell them as,
Yeah. So I figure if you could build a tube screamer out of everything in that box, that made life much easier than trying to source 20k W taper pots. Okay, Justin's found whatever cool thing it is. Cool thing.
So the back's not on it, but this is probably one of them. This is he's not really got he doesn't have a name as such. It's Eric iPhone 5C Bites the Dust.
Oh,
you've probably seen his stuff. And I've got 2 of them.
Yeah.
With those. But this one I got first is True Number. That's really, really nice. It's got a lot of. I only play blues, so I'm not the best person to tell you what this really does.
Well,
I set it in one place. That's it.
Is that the map inspired?
It's a drive with germanium or choice of diode, choice of input caps. But it goes from almost range mastery kind of bluesy stuff all the way to really thick that I would never touch. And I'm not the best person to describe it, but and that one was just I can show you inside actually.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so that's really nice. Hofner preamp.
Nice.
With a filter on the input. So probably those 2 for me.
I really like the aesthetic design too. It creates the optical illusion when you like turn it from the side, like it looks like it's faceted, even though it's, you know, pretty much square. Like I thought it had a really weird slope cut out of it, and then whenever I saw it from a different perspective, I was like, oh,
I saw that's what I thought from here.
Yeah, the aesthetics are awesome.
Yeah,
and you know, cool pedals always sound better. Like cool looking pedals always sound better, man.
I feel bad because most of mine aren't boutique, and I feel kind of bad for that. I have boutique pedals. My pedals of the year are, so I'm going to start with this. The SoundLad Liverpool Sketchy, which just dropped.
That's so cool.
I cannot explain how fun it is. It's like
someone who grew up playing with an Etch-a-Sketch for endless hours on end.
Yeah,
I would just be like in heaven.
The thing with it is, yes, it's fun to play with, all that kind of stuff. It sounds incredible. Like, it's not just a gimmick. It sounds incredible, and the being able to draw your own waveforms.
I'm familiar with this pedal. That's why I said as soon as you showed that, I was like, oh man, I forgot that came out this year. Yeah.
It literally only came out. I think he started selling them beginning of December. Oh, Black Friday. That was his point. He wanted to get them out for Black Friday, but they didn't actually. He didn't finish the first batch of get them posted until the weekend before Christmas. So he's been working on it for a couple of years because there were lots of things he wanted to implement, and he had lots of. It's fast. Yeah, if people haven't already, check out SoundLad Liverpool's page, and he's kind of documented his whole journey with it. And the end result is phenomenal. I quite like. I've not got. I do actually. I was about to say I don't have a power supply next to me, but I do have a power supply next to me.
We might get a sample.
No, you won't get a sample of it, unfortunately. But the screen, and it's amazing because it kind of sounds weird when I say it. It's not touch screen; it's kind of old school, blocky. Yep. But it's just
it's classic LCD display, man.
Yeah. And I think people. I do get the impression that in this day and age, people will expect it to have a touch screen, and I understand why he's not for lots of reasons. But yeah, it's I'm gonna say like the market is not gonna expect it to have a touch screen. The market that's gonna buy that, your JHS jockeys that we're talking about, those guys that they want something mass produced, they expect a touch screen. But the world that's geared towards and the world that comes out of, we expect stuff that looks low tech. We're actually going back to lower resolution things, 8-bit. We were tired of like the stuff being like, okay, so yeah, we can do everything digital now. Well, what was cool about digital before we could do it? Like, let's go back to 8-bit and 16-bit and bit crushing, even like stuff like that. Yeah.
So
sorry, I forgot
I think it's coming around. Yeah.
I forgot the coolest bit of the pedal. It comes in this children's style plastic box with all the instructions on the back of how to use it. It's just amazing.
That's it, man. See, that's who expects a touchscreen in that packaging.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's part of me. There's touchscreen and MIDI were the only two things I think people might ask for. Personally, that's not a problem for me at all. And I think, as you say, I think the majority of people buying it wouldn't be fussed by it not having touchscreen or MIDI. But one of the most fun pedals I've played in years. Just it's really nice to be. I was going to use the word kinesthetic then, but I hate myself, so I won't. But yeah, it's beautifully tactile, and just being able to play around with it's wonderful. And because I'm greedy, I chose a couple. The other one was this, which was the Warm Audio Pedal 76.
Oh yeah.
I've been waiting for a decent 1176 pedal for a long time, and I know that there's what's the Origin Effects obviously make the fancy one. There's a few other 1176 pedals, but having a background in studio stuff, the fact I always wanted them with a proper VU meter, the proper transformer, at least the output transformer, and to be able to, the 1176 has a really definitive sound to it that I always feel like a lot of the other pedals missed. So when this one came out, so it's a Cinemag output transformer. It's basically their rack mount Warm Audio 1176 clone squeezed into a pedal best they could. So it's running internally at high voltage, which is nice. And on the back, it's got a few things. So you've got a drive, which is how hard. It's just a toggle switch, but how hard the output transformer gets hit.
Yeah,
you can run a
musician. I can see where that's like what you would want is everything that's on that for sure.
And it is again, it doesn't make a huge amount of difference if I turn it on, but there is something beautiful about kind of lit up VU meters with little bouncing needles that
it's
yeah.
I mean, I'm a sucker for VU meters. Even the broken ones, I collect them all.
It's a bit of technology. I think the beauty of VU meters is it feels really organic. So like an LED meter, it's fine and it's probably better functionality. There's something about a VU meter waving.
The needle is more accurate. If you really want to get fine measurement in an analog way that can keep up in real time, there's nothing like it. It's the reason why there's still scientific instruments that use it. But getting like a scientific VU meter now is so expensive. Like you're talking thousands of dollars for it because it's to such tolerances. But yeah, it's where the analog still is ruling. You can't reach that threshold of sensitivity and precision.
Again, this is one of those pedals where I think people are going to complain that it's not got a clean blend because we've all become so accustomed to guitar pedal compressors having clean blends. And for the first time in a long time, I don't think it needs one because it works and sounds like a proper 1176. You can get away, in my opinion, you can get away without having the clean blend and just enjoy it as a tone shaping kind of piece rather than like a practical compressor.
Oh, nice.
And because it runs at line level as well, you can use it as so I've been using it a lot for insert points just on a mixing desk because I sold a bunch of gear to move house.
That makes it even more versatile. It's like honestly, a Swiss Army knife at that point.
But yeah, wonderful piece of gear. I did have to try and think about what else I've bought. I've bought way too much this year.
Well, Late Night Simon's been busy. I've seen his posts on Instagram, believe me.
It's weird because some of it. I mean, those weren't. Thankfully, those were daytime Simon making informed, rational decisions as an adult.
A really good yin and yang balance there too. You've got the one thing that's kind of funky, freaky, and you've got the really cool, functional. Like I'm going to use this all the time. So
yeah. Excuse me. So I'm just looking. Yeah, I must. Oh, the Hello Kitty fuzz is cool, but it just looks like Hello Kitty. That's it. Which is cool, but
it's just there's only so much you can do with Hello Kitty. It's pink.
Yeah.
There's no mouth.
It's not a cat.
Cute. It's not a cat, but it is a cat.
But it's not a cat, but it is a cat. It's a cat that has a pet cat. Sorry, it's not a cat that has a pet cat. That's it.
Yep.
The other thing was which is boring, but I think is fascinating, is the new Tube Screamer hand-wired version 2 that they've just released, which that was a Late Night Simon buy. And I hate myself for buying Tube Screamers because I joke about it all the time, but I own more Tube Screamers and pieces of cutlery, but I'm genuinely serious when I say it. And so when another Tube Screamer arrived, I was kind of like, this is Late Night Simon at its worst. But it's phenomenal, and it's phenomenal because they've done something which makes a huge tonal difference with very few changes, and they've literally just added a super hard on after the circuit. So it's your standard Tube Screamer, and I mean like basic standard Tube Screamer. There's nothing fancy, and then they've just put a super hard on with fixed gain after it, and that is where the magic lies. Because suddenly you've got way more output volume, which everyone always wants from a Tube Screamer, and it's also much brighter. And I don't know if it's like an impedance thing or what it is about the super hard, because the super hard on's quite bright anyway. But yeah, sticking that after a Tube Screamer totally changes the game, and that's part of my next year is to play around with that as a concept.
Yeah, I can see where that would come in. Yeah, I can see where that would come in to play because, like, a lot of times when I've been working with Tube Screamers, I have to boost the signal after I mixed the screamer with something else, and I don't know if it's like, you know, what we were talking about, the buffer circuitry and stuff like that, playing with it or whatever, but you know, having it all in one package like that, it makes a good little
and it makes sense as well, because as you say, so many people do that because you kind of have to do that, really. To be able to put it into one box and claim, I mean, they've not claimed it's a new design, but they are quite honest. They've said that it's a new version with a boost on the end. So and the Behringer clone as well that I talked about earlier, which is mind blowing, and I feel like for the price of it, it's just going to be that would change the game massively.
And then back to price point too, with the first pedal you were talking about, the Etch-a-Sketch design. You know, the crowd that's going to complain about it not having touchscreen and a MIDI is not going to be the crowd that's going to be willing to pay the price for it to have touchscreen and a MIDI. They're going to wait for the Behringer clone to come out and buy the one that costs a third of the price of what it would cost to produce at the level he's producing it at. So,
I think that's it. So because it's priced, so it's $199 plus postage, which I think is, as you say, I think is exactly the right price for it.
That's the right price point.
But it's, I think once you get to that kind of £200 mark, people have expectations of what gear is, because you start to get into the higher end boutique stuff, and then the kind of fancier high tech like Strymon era, the Strymon realm. And then
again too, like the more complications you introduce into the circuit, the more places you have for things to go wrong.
And that's because
it took him 2 years. It took him 2 years to get to this point, right?
Yeah, and I mean, he had to program everything himself. He's done everything himself. And I know that adding a touchscreen would be like an insane undergoing on top of all of that, and it doesn't need it a lot. I feel like a lot of people use, because it's got patches. A lot of people will use it like that as kind of just presets. So set them up to sound great and leave it as that.
Yeah, that was one of the issues working with the Vo 96 acoustic synthesizer project that I worked on, is he got it to the point where, you know, it still wasn't 100%. We only were like 40% capabilities of what this thing could do, but he had to get it done into market to like satisfy the GoFundMe campaign for the, you know, however many hundreds of thousands of dollars he needed to finish it. So it was like, you know, a balance. You're like, okay, it's not what my goal is, but it's good enough for 99% of the people out there to go, oh my God, what have you done? So.
I think that's the other thing that it's interesting when you say about that, because there will be people like myself. Part of why I build so many things on Variboard and not on PCB is because I can't handle just getting to 90%. I need to get to 100%. And it's we all know, you know, that first 90% is not easy, but that's the fun bit, and it's that last bit of mind, like
detail.
And just tweaking and tweaking and tweaking. And it's especially once you get to that point where you're tweaking and it makes it worse, and then you're having to take steps back and kind of readdress things. It's a nightmare. And at least on Variboard, that's quite easy. Whereas if you're having to knock out PCBs for every single iteration you're making, because there was a pedal a few years ago, and I'm gutted that it didn't take off more. There's a band called A Rocket Complex, which are like two guys in England, and the singer / guitarist Will from that decided to do. He wanted to do a guitar pedal kind of with the band or for the band, and he made a blues driver clone called the BLT, and it is stunning. Like, it is absolutely incredible. He's added a bass control. It's got a toggle switch that flips the second discrete op amp between 9 and 18 volt. Like, it's a wonderful pedal. But because he was doing everything on a PCB, and because he was getting a lot of it surface mounted and built in China, and then he was finishing stuff off in the UK, he blasted, he spent an absolute fortune. Like, he'd get it made, have to get like a batch of 5 or 10. It either there'd be something wrong with it, so then he'd make the tweaks and then get the new batch in. So he burnt through a lot of money to get it to the point where it was ready, which then meant when he launched it, he was having to charge, I think it was 280 quid for the first. That was the first batch.
First batch, To recoup your prototyping cost is insane.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. It was totally he was right. That's the kind of price it needed to be, but I don't think he sold a single unit at that price, which is harsh because it's harsh. A great, yeah.
And but I've had that happen to me before, where I had to sell things that I made for what the market would bear, not what would recoup my costs, just because I knew if I didn't recoup something, I couldn't like get it to the point where I could produce it for a profit later. And it's one of those things you got to be ready to operate in the red for a little while if you start any kind of thing as a business. If it's a hobby, it's one thing, but when you're looking to start a business, you got to be ready to dump some money, man. Well, and be prepared to walk away from it and lose it all too.
Well, like Joe said this, and I don't know if Alex and Justin, I don't know if you're in the same situation. I think you might be, where building pedals is building your pedal your main job, or is it like a hobby on top of like a day job?
Yeah, I basically stopped being a musician. I have a background in music.
Amazing musician, yeah.
Kind of. I try.
No,
No, but I studied jazz, and I play bass and double bass and all that kind of stuff. But after some time being a musician, you need to get something that will give you something more.
Security. Security.
Exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, basically that's my building pedals. It's my main job.
Okay.
But well, there are months and months. You know, like there are months that it's fine. It's cool.
Yeah.
We can go through the month, and the next month could be
the thing to do is to have the side hustle too, like always have some other ways of making income, because that's the only way I was able to get through like a decade or so without ever having to work for anybody other than myself. Was I could do a lot of different things. Like if one thing dried up, something else was doing it. So that's why I suggest to anybody, learn as much as you can about everything you can, because then you'll never be at a lack for things that you like to do or could potentially benefit from, financially or otherwise. So,
well, it's like it's another one of those classic turns of phrase that has been, I was going to say co-opted, but that's not the right word, but the meaning's been changed. The jack of all trade is a master of none. And it used to be, the original phrase is a jack of all trade is a master of none, but better than a master of one. And it was literally that. It
was literally just cutting it off to redirect your focus. Hey, and the same to the guys over here that are making.
Yeah, exactly. Same as blood is thicker than water. It's the opposite way around. The original quote is the blood of the covenant, as in your friends, is thicker than the water of the womb. So you build strong relationships with the people that you've chosen to make friends with and have relationships with,
rather than the water that broke exactly from your family.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And coming from like some of the background that I've come from, I've understood like that too. It was like when you hear these things that become like colloquialisms, I guess is what we would call them, because they just become so ingrained in the culture. But their original meaning, was something exact opposite. Like some of the stuff that we think of as harmless children's like nursery rhymes is horrendous. What they originally were talking about was like talking about, people dropping dead in the streets and organs falling out of them, and, awful things being done, on the torture chamber devices. It's like, you really want your kids saying that?
That's friendly nursery rhymes and weren't friendly to start with.
Exactly. No.
I feel like that's probably a good point to leave this, because it's now it's late in the day here, and I imagine it's
20 minutes in, and our fearless leader has left, and it's just the the cast and crew. Hey, we're still international though.
Brilliant.
Portugal. All right. Well, that being said, I guess it has been like an amazing journey for these 12 episodes. I mean, I can't believe that it happened so fast and that it grew so fast, and in big part thanks to people like you, Alex, and you, Simon, and of course Joe, for assembling all this together and giving us all a place to come. Thanks, and I can't wait to see what happens in 2025. So
yeah,
that's it for me.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like, oh no, John is gone. Okay, yeah, we'll leave it there then. So I think we're just. I think if we leave, it will disconnect the live stream unless Joe's the only person that can. Well, I have no idea, honestly, man. Yeah, it's been a pleasure to chat to you. Yeah, it's weird because I feel like we've spoken via message, but never. I was gonna say face to face. This still isn't face to face, but yeah, it's been really good to speak to you, man.
Likewise, mate.
Right. Take care. Let's do this. Cheers, man.
Bye, mate.